Hi, my name is Nur Aisha and I will be presenting the introduction for our group assignment on local government administration in Malaysia, focusing on Act 171, the Local Government Act 1976. Local government is the third tier of Malaysia administrative system, and it is the body that is closest to the daily life of the public. They are responsible for things like waste management, road infrastructure, public health, and community welfare. To ensure all of this run in an organized and consistent manner, a legal framework is needed. And that is exactly what Act 171 provides. This Act consists of 16 parts and 166 subsections, covering aspects of administration, finance, and public service delivery across Peninsular Malaysia. In this presentation, we will be discussing the key provision of Act 171 in terms of its function and financial power, as well as suggested areas of improvement to address current challenge. Okay, that's all for the introduction. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Today I will explain the main provision in Act 171 that enhance its function. The main provision of Act 171 refer to the key powers and responsibilities given to local authority to help them to provide service, manage development and enforce regulation and improve their well-being of residents. First, public service delivery. Local authorities provide essential service such as waste collection, drain maintenance, street lighting, and public health service. For example, Majlis Bandaraya Seremban manage waste collection and clean lines in Seremban, while Majlis Bandaraya Shah Alam maintain public park and drain system to prevent flooding. Second, financial authority. Act 171 allow local authorities to collect tax, assessment rates and licensing fees. For example, MSA collect property assessment tax and the revenue is used to improve road, recreation facility and public amenities. For the third, regulation and enforcement powers. Local authorities can issue a license and enforce by law. For example, MSA conduct inspection on food premise and business to ensure they comply with health and safety regulation. They also can take action against illegal traders. Fourth, administration governance. Act 171 define the role of council members to and promote accountability and transparency. For example, local council hold meetings and make decisions on community development project and public service. Finally, urban planning and development. Local authority are responsible for approving building plan and controlling land use. For example, MSA oversees development project in Shah Alam to ensure they follow zoning regulation and support sustainable development while preserving green space. In conclusion, Act 171 strengthens local authority by giving them the power to provide service, manage finance, enforce regulation, and support plain urban development, while ultimately improve the quality of life for residents. Thank you.
Okay, next I will explain the main provision in Act 171 that enhance the financial powers of local authorities in Malaysia. The first provision is Section 39, which concerns sources of revenue. This section allows local authorities to generate their own income instead of relying entirely on the federal government. The main sources of revenue include assessment rates, business license or property rentals, and service charges. These sources provide a stable flow of income that enables local authority to perform their responsibility effectively. For example, revenue collected from business license and assessment tax can be used to fund essential public services such as waste collection, park maintenance, and the upkeep of public facilities. Therefore, Section 39 is important because it strengthens the financial independence of local authorities and support the continuous delivery of public service. So, another important provision in Section 40, which established the Local Authority Fund. Under this section, all revenue received by a local authority must be deposited into the Local Authority Fund, which acts as its main financial account. This system improves transparency, accountability, and financial management, ensuring that public funds are managed properly and used for approved purposes. For example, funds from this account may be used for drainage system upgrades, public market repairs, and urban development projects. In addition, Section 41 and 42 provide borrowing powers to local authorities. This section allows local authorities to obtain loans and issue financial instruments such as debentures to finance large-scale development projects. For example, borrowed funds can be used to develop modern market, complex multi-story car parks, and flood mitigation system. So overall, Section 40, 41, and 42 strengthen the financial capacity of local authorities by ensuring proper fund management and providing access to additional financing for major development projects.
Okay, now for my part and my turn. As you can see for the first slide, area of improvement to cope with the current challenges. Okay, lack of public participation. Local council members are appointed by the state government, not elected by the citizens. Public has limited influence in selecting representatives. Also can reduce accountability, transparency, and public trust. Let me explain a little bit more deeply. Okay, under Act 171, local council members are appointed by the state government instead of being elected by the public itself. This means citizens do not have a direct role in choosing their local representatives. Because of this, public involvement in decision making is very limited. This situation may reduce accountability and transparency in local governance. So, in addition, it also can weaken the relationship and trust between the public and local authorities. Okay, for the second point, outdated Act. Act 171 was introduced in 1976. Does not fully address modern issues such as smart city development, environmental sustainability, and digital governance. Because it makes adaptation to current challenges become more difficult. So, what I mean here is the Act is outdated. Okay. To be more specific, as I mentioned before, Act 171 was introduced in 1976, and it is still based on an older governance system. However, today's environment has changed a lot, especially with rapid urbanization and digital development. Modern issues such as smart city initiatives, environmental sustainability, and also technology-based governance are not fully covered in the Act. Okay, so therefore, this make it difficult for local authorities to fully adapt to current challenges. So to conclude, updates and improvement are needed to ensure the Act remains relevant. So, for the third point is financial constraints. Local authorities rely on taxes, fees, and government grants as their main sources of revenue. Limited funding can affect the quality of public services and development projects. Smaller municipalities often face greater financial difficulties due to lower income. As a result, local authorities may struggle to meet the growing needs of the community. So, let me explain a little bit. Local authorities mainly depend on revenue from taxes, licensing fees, and also government grants. However, these sources are often limited and not enough to support all development needs. This also can affect the quality of public services, infrastructure maintenance, and also local government projects. Smaller municipalities are usually more affected compared to larger cities because they have lower revenue than the larger cities. As a result, this may reduce the efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery to the community. Okay, so thank you.
To wrap things up, Act 171 has played a significant role in ensuring that local government in Malaysia operate in a structured and effective manner. Provision like Section 101 grant board administrative powers, while Section 39 to 42 strengthen the financial capacity of local authorities to generate revenue and fund development projects. That say, there is still room for improvement, particularly in terms of limited public participation, an act that hasn't been substantially updated since 1976, and financial constraints faced especially by smaller councils. Therefore, we recommend that Act 171 be reviewed and improved to better meet the demands of today's society. Thank you.